We should also look at the rhetorical strategies in play. The speaker alternates between moral outrage and strategic calculation. He uses personal memory, I had a very good relationship, to establish credibility, then moves swiftly to public critique. That rhetorical shift accomplishes two goals. It softens the critique with personal recollection, making it less purely partisan, and it amplifies the drama, turning a private tie into a public standard by which failure is judged. This is not merely commentary, it is the making of public opinion. Next, consider the human ledger he invokes. Lost 1.5 million soldiers, an image that is almost numbing in scale. Numbers of this magnitude demand scrutiny. Whether exact or rhetorical, they are meant to communicate the scale of sacrifice. When leaders use large figures, they ask publics to reckon with the human toll, to see the conflict not as a sterile strategic contest, but as a cascade of personal tragedies. The moral force of that account is one of the most potent tools in shaping opinion, and yet even in the face of such loss, the speaker's tone contains a measure of astonishment and grudging respect. I give credit because who would think that Ukraine could have fought Russia for 4 years to essentially a standstill? That acknowledgement recasts the narrative. It moves away from assigning blame alone and toward recognizing agency on both sides, resistance where collapse was predicted, endurance where speed was expected. Realpolitik is messy, courage makes it messier. Beyond the battlefield, the conversation is an exercise in signalling. Public remarks like these are not just personal opinions. They are signals to allies and adversaries alike. They broadcast willingness to use economic measures to supply certain weapons and to publicly judge leadership failures. They shape the perceptions of decision makers in capitals, the calculations of generals, and the morale of citizens. At its core, then, the passage asks us to think about the mechanics of modern conflict, how decisions are made, how alliances are tested, and how public narratives are constructed. It asks us to ask whether wars are the result of miscalculation, miscommunication, or design. It interrogates the very idea of victory today. Is victory measured in territory, in attrition, in political survival, in the restoration of normal life? The speaker suggests that the answers are muddled and that leaders are responsible for restoring clarity. Now reflect on the domestic pressures described: long lines for gasoline, collapsing economies, wounded soldiers. These are all symptoms of broader systemic stress. They are the pressures that produce political change domestically. Regimes that cannot feed, clothe, and protect their people will lose legitimacy. That is an important lesson for citizens everywhere. Democracy, autocracy, hybrid regimes, none are immune to the material facts of daily life.